My name is Angela Newby. My friends call me Angie, and I'm a retired teacher and a real estate agent and also a travel advisor. And I'm trying to help some people that I have noticed on Facebook, or actually some people actually reached out to me because as a retired teacher, I was a special education teacher, an ESL teacher, and a preschool teacher. I specialized in early childhood special education for 27 years. So I've seen in different mom groups. So I wanted to record this video and I'm going to share it in those mom groups about how to help their preschoolers, toddlers with their big little feelings. That's that's a kind of a term that we use in education and early childhood education about children who have a really difficult time with expressing their emotions and then dealing with it. They express their emotions when they're sad, when they're angry, when they are anxious and nervous about something. They don't know how to compartmentalize those feelings. So it's really important for us to learn how to help them self-regulate their behavior. So help them be able to monitor how they're feeling, control their emotions, and calm themselves down. They have to learn how to calm down. And this is one of the strategies I'm going to show you today that I've done before that really, really does help with kids. And it uses two little books, or I've used two little books here. And these weren't the exact books, I don't think, that I had, maybe, but similar books. So I'm going to show you what I've used and kind of walk you through kind of what we did for kids that can't read and can't count yet, or maybe they can. But it's a good little way to kind of teach them how to self-regulate their temper tantrums, if you want to call it that, or just to come out of their shell. So the first thing I always wanted to do was to teach kids about moods and feelings and how they felt. And we would spend like a week or two doing this, talking about identifying when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're nervous or anxious, when they're angry, when they're depressed or low, or we call it blue, when you're feeling blue, kind of low. So we talk a lot about that. And this book that I have is a really good one. It's called The Magic of Me, My Magical Moods. So it really goes through and does a really great job of teaching kids with a seesaw about how you're up and you're down with your behaviors. I'm not going to read it all to you, but it mentions things that they can do when they're feeling an emotion and they want to help themselves feel better, calm down, basically. They can listen to music it talks about. You can go outside. You can be active. Maybe do some push-ups or something like that, jump rope, whatever, run around outside a bit. You can be creative, like coloring or cutting out paper or playing with Play-Doh. Those are things that they can do. They can sleep, take a nap, because sometimes kids are just tired and they just don't know how to deal with that. So taking a nap is often good. So they can just, you don't want to say the word nap because they freak out with the word nap, but tell them just go lay down and snuggle up in their bed. That womb space under the covers is really good. A heavy blanket is really good for them to help them calm down. You just might want to be alone. Maybe they're overstimulated and they just need some time alone. Maybe take a nice bubble bath. I mean, I know when I'm stressed, I like a nice bubble bath. They can take a bubble bath and be refreshed. Play with animals. If you have a cat or a dog or a hamster, sometimes that's really helpful for them to calm down. I know in the classroom we always had like a guinea pig that they could play with, and when they're a little bit more calm, not when they're volatile, because that could be hurtful, but that's a really good way to help them to calm down. Be social. So they might want to play with some friends, help them to be giving. A lot of times I have found students, even my older fifth graders, I use this strategy. I had students with autistic tendencies, and or even emotionally and behavior disordered students. I always found that they would love to help younger people. They'd love to go maybe read a book to another class as a reward or something like that, or to help someone in the classroom that's needing help. That's a way for them to give of themselves, and that really helps them to have a really good self-esteem. Teach them to be healthy, like eating good fruits, and then also to be present. We use yoga in the classroom a lot. There's a really great program called Cosmic Yoga on the TV. There's probably lots more, but we did movement and relaxation strategies in the classroom, and that really helped a lot. So just some ways that you can teach them to change their mood from when they're down to bring up and be happy. So again, this book is The Magic of Me, My Magical Moods, written by Becky Cummings. So it's really good. And I got that on Amazon. But if you have a child at home who is maybe struggling with anger, there might be some, and the anger might be coming from they're either frustrated or they're sad or they're anxious and nervous and they just don't know how to express their anger. This strategy really does work. And this is actually, it might be written by a teacher, but I've heard of this technique before and used it. It's called A Little Spot of Anger, and it's written by Diane Albert. And the basic principle of it, I will show you what it does. It first goes through and talks about your peaceful spot, that everyone wants to be peaceful. You want to be peaceful and calm. And it goes, as you read it, you can, if you do this in a small group, you can ask the kids, would you like to be more at peace when you're upset about something? It talks about different emotions, sadness, anger, anxiety. And it goes through some situations about how if you're calm, you have a little green dot spot, and then you might be a little bit angry, but then sometimes you're really, really angry. So you have a big spot of anger. So that would be like yelling, screaming, tantruming. In my classroom, sometimes throwing chairs or being bag seats or something like that. It was pretty intense sometimes. So one thing that we teach them to do is a hand. So, and I have my hand printed with washable marker. In the classroom, I would use dots or a washable marker for the kids when I help them learn how to do this. In the book, it talks about getting stickers, and you can do that. So you have 4 red stickers and a green one. And pretty much these are the anger spots, and this is the calm spot, the peaceful spot. So when the children want to learn this, you kind of have to get there. Yes, I want to learn how to calm down after you've gone through everything and taught them this, because you want them to be on board. You don't want to just teach them something and say, you have to do this. You want them to buy into it. So if they agree, you have 4 spots of red on your fingers and a green spot, and they can imagine this even eventually. But what you want them to do is to repeat after you and say, count the spots from 1 to 4, tap, 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 and tap once more. Okay? Then, now fill your lungs with peaceful air, so that's where they inhale, and then coat your spots with loving care. So what that basically is teaching them to count to 4 and then inhale and exhale to help them calm down. And sometimes kids might need to do this several times before they calm down. And it gives them different situations that, like maybe a child is frustrated because they're not drawing a picture good enough. And what can they do? They can tap, 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 inhale, get the piece, and then blow out the piece on their anger. And it helps them to calm down. And it also shows some situations where maybe a child ran off with their toy. They think they took a toy from them, and really the child just wanted them to play. And so they get angry and upset about that. So it gives them different situations for how children might react to situations, and teaches them how to change the story basically and calm themselves down. It's really, really helpful. I actually did this with some children this past week, and it really does help. I've used these kind of techniques in the classroom. It's good for preschoolers because they don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. They can just go tap, 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 and they know how to do that. And then inhale and blow the piece, and it works. It does take several practices before it's perfected, of course. And with anything, you have to keep doing it until eventually the child will be able to do it on their own. So it's just a narrative you have to do with them, and keep it up and be consistent with it, and it'll stick eventually. I hope this is helpful to you, moms. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know I usually do on my Wednesday lunch and learn about real estate, but I try to smatter in some other things, and this is the week that I'm doing this one. So I hope it's helpful to all your moms and grandmas and aunts and dads and everyone who's needing this for the children in your life. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you next week with some real estate talk. Bye.